I think that consumer brands pretend to leverage digital media by and large, and unfortunately, they can do a much better job than they actually do. So there are a few brands which are trying stuff both on the net and on the mobility space, but by and large, India still has a very, very long way to go. We've tried some initiatives in the past, and we're doing many initiatives even now. For example, on brands which are youth-centric, we use the digital space. So on Happydent, we have a page on Facebook, which is pretty active, where a lot of people come in. We've got lots of stuff going around in terms of virals on some of our brands like Mentos. We did a special Mentos helpline, which we created as a website itself. And so some of our brands are fairly sticky and edgy in terms of creative. On those, we try and leverage stuff. But on the others, which are kid-centric brands, we don't use digital space yet. I think it really depends on the brands and the target audience, as you rightly said. We have a portfolio of more than 10 brands, and we sell the product which is north to south and urban and rural to the smallest of villages that you can imagine. So the brands which are urban-centric, which are more youth-centric, we definitely have put some focus and are setting aside money on the digital space, either in terms of simple banners or in the space of engagement or in the space of interaction in some other form. Whereas for other brands like, say, a Big Bubble, which is a kid-centric bubble gum, there we don't have any intention as of now of engaging anything in the digital space. I think the biggest challenge that the whole industry faces is metrics. Where many times we believe that the simplest way to reach a consumer, or the most cost-effective way of reaching a consumer, especially in a category like ours, which really cuts across, is television. And to that extent, the metrics always play a critical role. Plus, the creative partners many times believe that digital media is not very engaging or not very, is not the best media to deliver a piece of communication. It's good for increasing salience, but in terms of just number of times you will see a brand rather than the way you engage with the brand. So I think those are two challenges that we face. I think it varies from category to category. If you look at things like insurance, where you look like things like travel, I think it's a very important, or hotels, it's a very important sales generator. For other categories like FMCG, I think it's a very important salience generator, which would again translate into sales, but that would be a laddered effect, whereas in some other categories it would be a direct effect. I think they need to come up with a compelling argument in terms of metrics as to how to deliver results in terms of scores as compared to traditional media. B, they need to come up with far more engaging content, which will be in partnership with agencies and not just on their own, as so that even the creative partners of the marketing guys also start believing in the space. And C, which I think is the most important, is education. Because unless you educate people on what this can do, it's not going to work. Well, I'm very glad it's coming to India, and I certainly hope that some of the topics covered on the AdTech, thanks to the best of the best from around the world coming to India, will help educate, as I just said, the Indian marketing and advertising fraternity to open up their minds to a space which is critical.